reaction to getting your future sorted out?
It's very good. I slept well last night, and a bit of relief because it's gone on a long time. Well, I thought it was a long time, but it's finally done, and I'm happy with the situation.
Has it led to some sleepless nights then?
No, I'm quite a relaxed sort of chap, really, up to now. But no, it's just things that go on in your head, and you're asking yourself the reasons why things don't develop as quickly as you expect them to. But I understand the way things work. But I'm just glad that both parties have agreed and we can move on.
You're head coach now. At this club, what does that mean?
Well, the term of the agreement is head coach manager. That might be new these days, I don't know. But part of the process of sitting here right now in this seat was sort of finding out the clarity of that. What does that mean? And for me, it means being in charge of all football issues at the football club. That was important, and I think any manager, stroke coach, stroke anyone wants to know his job description. I just wanted to make sure that was clear, and as far as I'm aware now, going forward, I'm in charge of all football matters, the players, the football side of things, recruitment, all that type of thing. So it's a nice feeling to know that what your job is.
Did you get everything you wanted after negotiating your position?
I got exactly what I wanted to get as far as how I want to do my job. That has been agreed. And I thought it wasn't a case of, financial or anything like that, which plays a part, of course. But it's a case of what can you do, what you can try and achieve, and what backing you're going to get. And that's massively important to anybody.
Yeah. You've lost Stephen Clements, haven't you, in the last 24 hours? What's been your reaction to that? How big a loss is it to you?
Well, over a period of time, it's a loss, of course. But over a period of time, we've lost 5, possibly 6. Well, it will be 6 shortly, into other roles at other football clubs, which is not a great advert for a football club. And there are possibly reasons for that, both personal and people losing their jobs through different things. But it's something that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at a football club when you're losing them to sort of different divisions. They're not staying in the Premier League, and there has been some quality staff here, and that needs to be assessed now, and making sure that Premier League staff are at a Premier League football club.
What happens immediately in terms of who'll be helping you this weekend?
I've got Gary Walsh, who's staying at the football club, who's very important and has done magnificently well since the departure of the last manager. He's worked extremely hard and done the job that's been expected of him. Hopefully now he'll be rewarded in that for that time. And going forward, I've brought in for this weekend Tony Pennock, who's head of the academy. I'm bringing him into the group today, and he will travel with us and assist on the bench. And possibly there will be another, depending on what happens this evening.
Okay, what about this? You mentioned this evening. I'm going to pick up on that. What do you mean by that?
Well, you're going to ask me about, is Michael Dawson available? Michael Dawson is available, but he will play tonight for the under-21s. He's been out for 12 weeks. It's a long time to bring him straight into a game against Bournemouth in the Premier League. Is probably something that he's not quite ready for. He understands that, he's happy with that, so he's going to play in the 21s, and then he's going to follow us down to Bournemouth and be around the place, be around me, be around the staff, take it all in. Might be a little bit of an experience for him, but I want him there just because he is the captain of the club.
But what stage are you at with trying to appoint an assistant now?
Well, at this moment in time, nothing has been sorted, nothing has been done. I have got a few ideas which I will try and resolve next week. Difficulty is some people are in jobs and some people are out of work. There's some good coaches out of work. This game manages to do that. But hopefully I can try and resolve 1 or 2 issues in the coming weeks as to what we can do in order to help these football players at this club.
People will wonder about the length of your contract. Can you shed some light on that for us?
Yeah, it's quite simple. It's till the end of the season. It was something that we were toing and froing with and what have you, but I understand certain situations at this football club are still pending, shall we say, and it was agreed that we'll do it for this period of time and hopefully be successful doing it.
Yeah. Steve's obviously been appointed at Aston Villa, hasn't he, in the last couple of days? Have you had the opportunity to speak with him?
Yeah, I've spoke with him, and I'm really pleased that a good man has gone back into football. He's taken one of our coaches with him, but that's life. That's the way it happens. But he's got a serious job on his hands there. But his experience will tell in that department. He's certainly got the credentials to be successful in the Championship, and that will be his aim at Aston Villa.
Did he ask for any more of your coaches?
You're just going to say players then? No, he's sorted out Stephen. That has been resolved. That's been done. And as it stands at the moment, I don't think there's going to be any more interference from that side of things.
Good luck.
Mike, you must have a pretty good contacts book though with your experience. So do you think you'll get your backroom team in place quicker than you actually were confirmed as head coach manager?
Well, it's easy to say that you want certain people. It's a bit more difficult getting them, because like I said, some are in work and some are not in work. But it's a case of getting the right balance and who wants to face up to the challenge ahead, because it's going to be a challenge. I don't think I can sit here and say that it isn't going to be difficult. It certainly is going to be difficult, but with the right guys and the right people around you, you can progress, and that's got to be one of the aims this football club has got to achieve, is to progress this club to another level. We're in a great league. We're in an unbelievably hard league, but like I've said many times before, we deserve to be here, and we have to now challenge ourselves in order to stay in it.
What kind of character then and personality in terms of backroom coach team would you be targeting? What does it need? Well,
it needs good football people who care. I think this football club has got some quality football players who go about their business through hard work, determination and effort. And I think you look for that in your staff. You look for knowledge. You look for experience if you can, but also you look for a little bit of something different, maybe something with energy and something that can bring a new look at it. And I'll go through that after the Bournemouth game and have another Sunday thinking about football, and I could be relaxing. But it's just part of the job. I'll try and get people in if I think they deserve to be here. But like I say, there are a couple of good guys, many good guys here at this football club who deserve an opportunity.
But can you afford to have that loyalty, have that sort of a sentimental feel about it when you talk about the good guys that are available?
Yeah, I think, listen, the game can be what you make it. It can turn you into a monster. It can turn you into somebody you're not. I am who I am. So, I will be looking for people who reflect a little bit of me in them, but also maybe something that I haven't got. And I think that's important, that you have the balance. But I do know people who would love to come and be at this football club. But it isn't as easy as me saying that. It has to be, that there's always obstacles in the way. And I'm sure I'll have to have a long list just in case I have to cross a few off.
And when you talk about your captain playing tonight, making his comeback, and then travelling down to join you in Bournemouth, you've got this run of games now, haven't you, where you can, on paper, these are the teams that look to be they're going to be in and around you, where you can try and pick up some much needed points now. Picking
up points at this level's difficult. I mean, every team in this division, regardless of whether they're Manchester City or Bournemouth or Hull City, it's massively difficult. But yes, you do look around and you think, well, now we have 7 points on the board after 7 games. We need to try and get as many as we possibly can between now and Christmas. But that's never been any different. The next game you play is the next game you want to win, and we'll be treating it that way. I'm glad that most of my players have come back from international duty fit. I've got one out, which is Ember Carney. He won't be available, but That's the sufferance we get when they have international duty. The rest are fine, so we will go down to Bournemouth with as good a squad as we've got.
In a way, the players were saying just finally that they thought they knew you would eventually come to an agreement with your head coach manager, your new role. So it sounds silly, new role, because you're already here. But
you can call me what you like. I'm
yeah.
sure I'll get more names than that over a period of time.
You know, your permanent job.
Yeah.
But is this like providing sort of a fresh impetus now that it's been decided, and that everybody can move on and bring that consistency and stability that was being questioned?
I think what it brings is a focal point now of you know who's the go-to guy, who's the one that makes decisions. I think that is important in a football club. So I have a good understanding with these football players, and it's about what they can produce now, and I'm here to exercise their potential really, and to get as best out of them as I possibly can. Obviously there are other duties as a manager that I have to perform, but mainly it's about making their work good, happy, structured, and hopefully gives them the ability then to shine and to progress and to be better and perform at this level, which is a huge level. The Premier League doesn't suffer fools lightly, so you do get found out if you're not prepared properly. So we will endeavour to keep this football club in this division.
You play against some of the top sides in recent weeks. Does the mentality or the approach change for Bournemouth?
No, it shouldn't do. It's I felt in the games of those magnitudes, when you talk about Liverpool, Arsenal, two of those games we were 10 men, so we didn't really get into it as well as we wanted to. In the last game against Chelsea, I thought we were pretty even at one stage, and it was just the quality of Chelsea in the end that undid us. But I was disappointed that we didn't take something from at least one of those 4 games. We now go into a spell where expectations seem to change, but we all know how difficult it is, and I think our supporters understand the difficulty of what we're trying to achieve, and I think they've been terrific, and I think they're going to have to be, as best they can be, terrific for the rest of the season, because it's going to be a patient time. There's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be obstacles we have to get over, but we have to now stick together and try and push this football club further forward.
Has the international break given you and the players a chance to take a step back and refocus ahead of what are some very important games for the club?
It's given us the opportunity to relax a little bit and to work a little bit. We had, I think, over the period of time we had 10 players available, which is probably the start of the season would have been happy with that. But now we have probably 10 players away on international duty. So it shows that there is quality here. But they have worked hard in that period of time. They've had a few days off as well, so they refresh that way. But now, we're back to business, we're back to football, and hopefully we'll do that really, really well.
You haven't won in the Premier League since the 20th of August. Is that a concern? How important is it to get that next Premier League win?
Well, that shows you how hard it is to get wins in the Premier League, and we have, yes, had some very difficult fixtures. We've made our own problems in a couple of those fixtures, but we've come through that now. We have to look forward, not backwards, and that's what we'll be doing from now till Christmas.
Mike, what sort of threats or dangers do you think Bournemouth will pose you tomorrow?
I think Bournemouth show a willingness and a desire to do the correct things most of the time. They play extremely tight, good interpassing football, but they also have an option of going forward, with one pass. They have a player there who's been injured, and the guy up front who's done really, really well coming back from that injury, and he looks very enthusiastic and raring to go. So they pose different problems in different areas of the field, but we know our game plan, we know what we need to try and do to achieve a result.
You've got a number of disappointed Scottish players, I'd imagine, on your hands. Have you had to cheer them up at all?
Yeah, I had a chat with them yesterday. They're all fine. They're a little bit tired and a little bit dejected because it's been a hard 10 days for them. But listen, that's the life of a football player. You have your ups and your downs, and they come at any moment in time. So you have to get on with it. Hopefully now through having a chat with them, they refocus now back on club football. And that's very important for any international player who's suffered the highs and lows in the period of 2 weeks.
Sam Clucas, we had a chat with him earlier on. Can you tell me how impressed you've been with him both last season and now in the Premier League?
Well, Sam's one of those players that has worked really hard to create his career. You know, he's had his ups and downs. He's been at football clubs where he's enjoyed and football clubs that he hasn't. And we got him from Chesterfield at a time when he was starting to show some real form. You know, and the previous manager brought him into this football club expecting him to do well, and he's shown that, and he's developed enormously, and he's took it probably further forward as quick as he has, and surprised everybody. But he's part of a group of players who this club's invested in and want to see that. We want to see players expressing themselves and enjoying their football, and I think right at this moment in time Sam's doing that.
And just finally from me, can you tell me what is going to change? You're now head coach, it's all official. What changes?
Probably decision making will change. A bit of authority now. How I use that will be looked at over the next coming weeks, I'm sure. But really, you know, my character is my character. I can't change that. Players might try and change that, but we shall see. It's just a case now of sitting in the chair and making decisions, and hopefully the players will understand those decisions when they're made, because it is a difficult job to do, but you do it for the right reasons, or you hope you do it for the right reasons. And we have a squad of players now, so we can use that squad, and hopefully together we can achieve something.
What's Mbakani's injury? Can you just clarify that?
He came back from his travels with a tight hamstring, so we've got to be very careful with that. He actually did very well in his last game for Hull, and he's done very well on international duty, but he's come back with a problem, and we can't take any risk with that.